soon. I've left the gate open, but
my name is Jason Ward and I'm the Director of the Family Refugee Support Project. The project works with refugee and asylum seeker families, and it provides psychological therapies but also a horticultural aspect. And so families come in and they can choose whatever it is that they want to plant, whatever it is that they want to grow. They care for it, they look it after themselves, and they get to have some control over something in what is a particularly turbulent and troublesome time for them whilst claiming asylum, which can take in some cases up to 10 years to get a decision. They meet with the gardener called Mike, and people can choose something from home. So over there we have a particular leaf from the Congo called Ngeli Geli. We have chilies from the Middle East. We've got coriander, parsley, sweet potatoes, sweet corn, runner beans, English tomatoes, tomatoes from other countries, garlic from all across the world, and everyone this year has taken on themselves to share what little bit they have with any family that couldn't get here, that were shielding, that were looking after themselves. We are either delivering some bits of food when we're starting to harvest it, so we'll take it directly to their houses, and we've also got 2 or 3 families that have decided to come back, and they get an hour or 2 because they don't want to leave with just them and the horticulturists, and they just get to come back here, feel the safety of this garden again. And whilst that's happening, they're also having therapeutic support at the moment on the phone, or sometimes if they want, the therapist is here and we're socially distancing from each other. And many of our families, they live in bedsits or flats, or newly arrived asylum seekers are in hotels at the moment. They don't have access to any outdoor space, so this might be the only place they can go to that is safe, and we use that word safe in a variety of ways, that they can actually just feel a little bit calmer and a little bit more comfortable as well. Now, this used to be a school playground, so the soil cannot grow anything, it's completely concrete. So what we've had to do was we've had to fit paths. All these paths have been specially designed to be wheelchair accessible, because we work with people that have had severe physical injuries brought on by complications claiming asylum, or torture, which is the reason why they claimed asylum, and so therefore accessing the garden was a priority. More often than not, we have a result that families end up buying their own allotments. So we've got allotment spaces all the way across Liverpool that are owned by ex-families that have really found the therapeutic benefit of growing for themselves and carry it on, and have carried it on for years to come. In the beginning parts of COVID, the majority of our families were high risk of health conditions, and so were under shielding measures and therefore could not get to either piece of land. Well, like Mike is our longest standing member of staff, so we've been here 12 years.
Can't get rid of me.
Can't get rid of you. Not that we want to get rid of you. Look at this. And you need someone who understands both gardening but also the trauma that they have gone through.
Weed that grows here, I think I call it goosefoot. I think it's Chenopodium family or something. I'll try and find one. But one of our families, I'm quite amazed by this, and I'd like to look into it. There's one. I leave it now because she likes to collect it. So it's a real common weed. She reckons if you use this in cooking sarg, it cooks faster, so it uses less fuel. Unusual year, really
It is an unusual year because Liverpool's flooded yesterday, and like Garston and stuff. But through that we've had a drought. I mean, and over here you've got one therapeutic space. There's another one over there that was actually built by a former client, and then there's a little one in this metal shed. So this is all their therapy space, whether that's in shelter, indoors, in their allotment, in the bed, in a corner, wherever they need to be, wherever their therapy needs to progress. It's for them to decide, and it's for them to take control over. And that's the kind of key thing. As much control as we can give a person to be here, the better.
Here, this side shoot, just take these out and just keep the 1 stem and the 2 stems growing, and Apparently I should get a few more aubergines this year, maybe. They are beautiful flowers though, really gorgeous. I've been hand pollinating them with my brush.
Oh really?
I don't know whether it's necessary, but if you just cross pollinate.
So I saw you, there's a sign about bees here as well.
That was a small nucleus colony until a couple of months ago, and they've done really well. They're really prolific.
Did you get much honey?
We did last year. I think we got about 60 kilos from 2 hives. We gave 2 jars to each of the families, and we asked for donations on a lot of other jars, and we raised £600. It's just normal sorrel, and some families eat it, but this family from Congo was like, no, it needs to be the red vein sorrel. So I bought the seeds, we planted it, took a long time to grow, and then when she tasted it, she was like, no, actually I prefer the green one, it's really rubbish. I don't know why it's not growing so well in this country. People from Albania enjoy it as well, I found out. But lovely lemony flavour, nice with fish.
The chilies, the peppers, the aubergines, they have to go in here. But these are the ones where, if it needs to be replicated for the countries that we get, you know, from the Middle East, from Congo, these are particular chilies that you want that you can't find here. So there is always a common crop, courgettes, cucumbers. The interesting thing is everyone has their own version of them, but also they'll grow to different sizes. Or so some will have them a lot younger, some will have them a lot older. So they all come with different tastes.
These are Lebanese style courgettes, and they're very pale. You know, some people describe it as like a white courgette, and our Syrian families really want these ones. They won't eat the green ones. They don't want the green ones. They insist on these pale ones. A little bit shorter and a little bit fatter, and I think they use a special little tool to skewer out the centre and stuff it with rice and meats. But I've tried, these for me in the past have grown less prolifically than the green style courgettes in our climate, and so I'm always encouraging them to grow the one that produces the most, but this is the one they want. The cucumbers, outdoor cucumbers, have been slow to get settled. I think that was the wind that was causing the damage, but then now you can see from the healthy growth there, they're actually established, and there's even a little cucumber coming. So I could have kept them covered a bit longer maybe, but they're happy now. We can grow about 8 or 10 aubergines in the greenhouse, but in Syria apparently they buy them by the kilo. They might buy 50 kilos and pickle them, and they'll have them every day over the year. But I was trying to explain we can't quite do that here. This is a hardneck garlic, and they produce these scapes which you can chop up and eat. They're quite seasonal, of course, because they'll only flower once in the year. I tend to keep them round to ward off pests.
Vampires.
Yeah, try. I like the marjoram. It grows as a weed, but the bees love it, and so it pops up everywhere. I really don't mind that. I do have to take it out occasionally, but why would you take the food away from the bees? It's just coming up everywhere. Oh, beautiful little creeping thyme from Tatton Flower Show.
Is that a yearly thing?
We only did it that year.
Right.
It is every year. Won't be this year.
Right.
But it is normally every year. Oh yeah,
Great.
all the Mexican fleabane, the pink daisy thing, that's from Tatton. Our garden at Tatton. I like it, just fills in little spaces, doesn't it? It's a show garden, it's a therapeutic garden.
It's a therapeutic garden.
And sometimes the weeds grow, and sometimes I have to let them, and that's quite difficult as a gardener to see.
Yeah.
Because that patch of land is their patch, it's not my patch, if I go and pick up the pieces every time, you know, where's the empowerment in that?
Yeah.
Where's the